That's better. Hi, friends. Hi, friends. Welcome. It is 2:44 Eastern Standard Time. We're here in New York City. It is January. It is December 1st. It's December 1st, 2025. Welcome, Z Loves Books. Good afternoon to you, too. We're here for a little chat. So it is December 1st, and I started Vlogmas. So my first video went live today. It was a little later than I had anticipated because my voice has not been cooperating. I have a little cold, and so my voice is a little compromised. So my video went up a little later than I had intended, but it went up. So in my video today, I'm chatting about my Christmas countdown calendar, which my daughter and I created a homemade Christmas countdown calendar, and we're so excited to get to it. We decided we're going to do her chocolate calendar first, and then we're going to do our Christmas activity in the evenings. So just maybe for a little bit more consistency, because she will be home from school in the afternoons and we'll be able to do the activities in the afternoon. So we're going to start this in the afternoons starting today. So, very excited to get to our Christmas activities every day leading up to Christmas. We intend to do a different Christmas activity. So, what we did, we created this little template. Little windows. My daughter wrote it up. And then behind here, so this is just glued to some cardboard. And behind the construction paper are 25 different activities. And so each day we will open a window and take out an activity. And hopefully we will do it. We will do the activity and do a little bit of vlogging and share that with you probably the next day. So looking forward to doing this. We had fun just coming up with the activities that we wanted to do to count down to Christmas. It is going to be a little bit of a different Christmas for us. So we're just doing things to try to get us into the holiday spirit and try to get us thinking about some fun things. So yeah, a homemade advent calendar. Yeah, we wanted to do this last year, and we started a little bit late, and we just got a little distracted. My daughter was also a year younger. She's 6 now. Last year she was 5, and our focus just wasn't quite there. Excuse me. So hopefully this year will be a little bit more focused, and we reserve the right that even though we have the activities already marked off for which day we will do what activity, if an activity comes up and we're not able to do it on that day, then we'll switch it out for something else. We'll substitute, we'll replace it, we'll go rogue, whatever it is. But we like having a little bit of a plan, something to motivate us if we can come up with something else to do. So, looking forward to doing this and sharing it with you. So, the Vlogmas video today was a little bit of a countdown theme, and so I shared 3 books on a theme where I gave you some recommendations. So if you haven't yet seen that video, these are some of the books. These are the books that I shared a little bit of an intro to in the Vlogmas video. So Grace and Henry's Holiday Movie Marathon by Matthew Norman, Christmas Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella. If you have met and loved Becky Bloomwood from the Shopaholic series, Shopaholic Strikes Again, Shopaholic and Baby, Shopaholic Takes Manhattan or something like that. There have been a lot of books in the series where we read this about this young woman named Becky Bloomwood. And I think when we meet her, um, she's working in media in some way. Is she a marketing executive? Or maybe not an executive, but she's working in either in marketing or she's working in like film, like TV production. I can't remember how the series started. It's been a long time. When I first met Becky Bloomwood in the Shopaholic books is when I went through my pink book phase where I'd go to the library and I'd look for the spines, and whichever spines were pink, those are the books that I pulled out. I was very much into my women's fiction era in my late 20s, early 30s. When I would go to the library, those are the books that I would look for. So I still have very nostalgic thoughts about some of those books. And so I love that Becky Bloomwood has grown up with me, because now in this latest book in the series, she's an older woman. She's married, she's a child, and she's now hosting her family Christmas. And her same shopaholic tendencies, her same, her ways to solve issues is just order things, and it all works out in the end. So I love this book. I would highly recommend this book if you're looking for something in the Christmas, but not Christmas, but not like overwhelming Christmas. I love this one. And then this was a recent read, Needle Lake by Justine Champion. All of these were gifts from the publishers. Penguin Random House gifted me all three of these books. This is the latest one that I received, and it's more about a young teenage girl and a change in her family dynamic leading up to Christmas, how Christmas changes for her when this new person comes into her family. And there's some very interesting things that happen in the story, which some of them are good and some of them are terrible. And this novel gives you a place to kind of think about some of the things that children face when they're not when they when the lines of communication between them and the adults in their lives are not completely open. Um, and also what it means when you have open communication with other people who are not necessarily in your family. Because what I liked about this book is that there is an adult in this teenage girl's life who she knows she can talk to, who she knows she can call when there's an issue. If she's feeling like she can't reach out to her parents or parent figure, that there is someone else that she can reach out to. And so I love that. I love that. Children know which adults they can call or that they can rely on when there are issues. So, recommend all three of these books. So, if you haven't already seen my Vlogmas video, this is what it's about. You could go check out the video. I also uploaded it as a short. So, trying to cover all the bases on the first day, just so that I'll be able to be motivated to continue for tomorrow. I am also planning to revive my blog. I have a blog. Um, and for several years I kept it up, and then a couple of years ago I stopped blogging as much. Well, not a couple, actually I stopped blogging like I used to when I had my daughter. And I still had the blog, I still had the site, but I really wasn't keeping up with it. And then about 2 years ago I lost my domain. um, so I don't know if I'll be able to get back the domain that I had before, but I now have a new name. It's the same Runwright. It used to be runwright.net. If you go to runwright.net now, you'll find a different space. So I changed my links here. So it's no longer runwright.net, it's runwright.blog, and it's supported by WordPress. So it's runwright.blog at WordPress, or runwright.blog.wordpress.com. So if you ever want to find me in print, that's where I'm going to be. And I haven't yet uploaded the post for today, but I'm hoping to do Vlogmas posts over there as well. So don't look yet. If you're watching this live, don't look yet, but hopefully later today, and definitely by tomorrow, I'll have something up, and planning to keep that going for the month as well. It may be a little bit too much too soon that I'm trying to build consistency on all the platforms all in one month at a time when I have so much else going on. But that's just how I do things. If I don't jump all the way in, then I'm not as interested. And I am interested. I want to be interested. So, a couple of other things that have happened in the reading space for me. Yesterday was the last day to vote in the Goodreads Choice Awards. So I did. And I voted for some books that I haven't yet read. Let me know if you do that too. I voted for some books that I haven't yet read, because those are the books that I think should move on. I know that's probably wrong. I know that's probably wrong, but let's see. Do they have the winners announced yet? Um, Goodreads. I'm looking on my Goodreads page. Let's see what they have. I don't think the Choice Awards have been I don't think the Goodreads Choice Awards have been announced yet. No, they don't seem to be announced yet. But yesterday was last day to vote, so I guess maybe they need some time to get the ballots together, and then they will come back and let us know what the winners are, what the Goodreads Choice Awards are for 2025. However, what is live on the front page is the most popular books that were read this year. So, if you are on Goodreads, they invite you at the beginning of the year to set a reading goal, and that becomes your 2025 reading challenge. What number books that you want to read, as well as what books you actually do read. So, here are the books that are the most read books in 2025. I don't know how many books are on this list. Top 12. Top 12 books marked as read by all challenge participants worldwide. So here they are. And if I have read the books, I'll tell you what I thought about them, but I haven't read. Oh, okay. All right. So here are the 12 most read books on Goodreads. First is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. No surprise there. Rebecca Yarros' books are number one, number three, and number four on the list. So Onyx Storm is number one, Fourth Wing is number three, and Iron Flame is number four. The book that came in second was Sunrise on the Reaping by Susan Collins. That's Hunger Games continuation. Um, it's from the Hunger Games series, right? So the top four books are these fantasy, right? I think so. Then number five on the list is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, which I haven't read. I've read two of her books so far, but I haven't read The Housemaid. Then number six is The Wedding People by Alison Espach, which I think I have a copy. I just didn't get a chance to read it yet. And number seven is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. And number eight is The Crash by Frida McFadden, which I just finished reading a couple of days ago. Yesterday? Did I finish it yesterday? I think I finished it yesterday. And then number nine is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Number 10 is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Number 11 is, pardon me, I'm so sorry. Number 11 is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. And number 12 is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Um, those are overall top 12. In fiction, the number I'm so sorry. I can't say too long. If you want to break down genres in the top 12 books in fiction, top 12 most read books in fiction this year were The Wedding People, Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelley Van Pelt, Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, which I read, My Friends by Frederick Bachman, Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey, Intermezzo by Sally Rooney, Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors, Here One Moment by Leanne Moriarty, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, All Fours by Miranda July, Margot's Got Money Troubles by Rufi Torp, and Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. So from that list, I've read two of them. I have a couple more that are on my TBR, which I didn't get to. Historical fiction is interesting because in historical fiction, the most read books were Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, The Women by Kristen Hanna, Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, James by Percival Everett, which I don't know that it should be historical fiction. It is kind of a retelling of Huckleberry Finn, but I'm not sure why it's been put in historical fiction. I wouldn't call this historical fiction, but mm. Anyway. The Frozen River by Ariel Lawhan, Kristen Hanna's The Great Alone, which is strange because that is not a new book. I read The Great Alone about 5 years ago when it first came out. It was actually the year after it was published. I read it for the BookTube Prize, and that was several years ago. So it's interesting that it's on the top. It's number 7 on the list of most read historical fiction books. Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus, which I haven't yet read. I wanted to. Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver, I have read. And Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan, I have read. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and The Briar Club by Kate Quinn. Those are both on that list as well. Let me just get my copy of this book. So, no surprise that Frida McFadden is all over the mystery and thriller book list. So Frida McFadden's The Crash is number 2 on the list. This I think is this is one of her most recent publications. This was published this year, right? 2025, The Crash. I think she has another book that came out since this one. I'm not positive. But in mystery and thriller, most read in 2025, Frida McFadden has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She has 6 books on the list. So she occupies the number 1 spot for The Housemaid, the number 2 spot for The Crash, the number 3 spot for The Tenant, the number 5 spot for The Boyfriend, and the number 6 spot for The Housemaid's Secret. So she has, how many I said? She has five of the top 12 mystery thriller books are written by the same author. Aside from Frida McFadden's books, there are The God of the Woods by Liz Moore, The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney, None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera, The Perfect Divorce by Geneva Rose, and All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. Interesting. Yes, puppy girl?
So this the Earth started doing makeup.
Say hi to the friends.
Hi, friends.
The friends say hello. Emmy Cat says hello. Sorry I'm late. My brothers wanted to finish a game that I was playing with them. Yeah. No worries, Emmy Cats. Hi. We are we just came on a few minutes ago and we were just chatting about the Goodreads most popular books that were read this year. So you're not late. Welcome. All right, go finish what you were doing. I soon come, okay? I'm just talking to the friends.
Hi.
I soon come back. And lift it up so they could see it. It's who's that?
Daisy Duck.
Daisy Duck. Okay. You finish your food? Or not yet? Okay, thank you. Yeah. So my daughter's home today. She goes back to school tomorrow. They get an extra day after Thanksgiving. So yeah, of the mystery thriller, most popular books from the 2025 Reading Challenge on Goodreads, Frida McFadden has 5 of those books. I've read 2 of her books, but only one mentioned here. The other book that I read from her was The Teacher. Is it The Teacher? Yeah. And it's not listed there. I'm not sure. I don't remember which year the Teacher came out, but it's not on the top 12 list from Goodreads. That's fine. The There are other categories. I don't read a lot of those other categories: science fiction, um, romantasy, fantasy. I've read a couple of the books. Like the number one read book in fantasy is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, which I have read and enjoy. I like Matt Haig books. I started reading him with How to Stop Time, I think was my first read from him. No, I think that was my second. I think the first book that I read from him was The Humans, which I found was so intriguing. And then I read How to Stop Time, which I thought was just excellent. The Midnight Library was probably a little less successful for me because it didn't have quite the suspension of belief as maybe some of the other books, but I really still liked it. So I'm not mad that it is the number one fantasy book, number one read, highest read and recorded fantasy book of 2025 reading challenge on Goodreads. Other books that are on this list that I have read are Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Kawaguchi, which I read last month or the month before. I think I might have read it in October for the reading challenge that I was participating in. And that was quite interesting. It's quite interesting to see that it is the number seven, it has a number seven spot. Number seven most read fantasy book on Goodreads was Before the Coffee Gets Cold.
What will you get you this for Christmas?
Which one?
It's an this one. It's an some water book.
Oh, that's what an sum is?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So take a
That's
screenshot.
some.
Okay, take a screenshot and I'll look at it later. Okay. Careful. Christmas lists loading. Yeah, I like the story. It's interesting that it would be the number seven most read. Is it number seven or number 11? It's number seven most read fantasy book because I don't know that it would appeal as much to fantasy readers. It is a little bit about time travel opportunities, and it's set in this cafe in Japan where if you go into the cafe, you can request to go back in time to meet someone that you had an encounter with in the specific cafe. You can only meet someone at a date and time when they were in the cafe. So if the person has never been in the cafe, you can't meet them in the past. And there are other requirements, there are other rules about the time travel. And it was interesting as more of a thought experiment, but I didn't think that it would appeal to so many people that it would be in the number seven spot, but number seven spot in fantasy. That's interesting. That's interesting. I like seeing books that I have read that other people are reading as well. So that's interesting. In romantasy, the only book that I have read was A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, which is the beginning of that series. And so Sarah J. Maas's series, okay, let's start with the series. Romantasy, Rebecca Yarros books are number one, two, and three on the list. Onyx Storm, Fourth Wing, and Iron Flame are number one to three on the Romantasy list. And then the Akatar series, A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, A Court of Silver Flames, and A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas are one, two, three, four, five on the list. And they occupy the next five spots. No, I'm sorry. Quicksilver is on there. Quicksilver is number four. So the Sarah J. Maas books are from number five to number nine on that list. I'm so sorry. I'm not so great. I'm not doing so great. From science fiction, um, some of the books that are on here are a little surprising. The Handmaid's Tale is science fiction. That is number four on the list. I Who Have Never Known Men is number one. I haven't read it. Red Rising is number three on the list. I haven't read it. Number two is Hail Mary by Andy Weir, which I have not read. But at some point, I want to pick up the Red Rising books. The publishers had gifted me a really pretty deluxe edition, um, a book set, a book box set of Red Rising. So I want to read those at some point, but I might not break open my box set to read the book. I may just read a library copy. Cheating. I want to keep my book set pretty in pristine condition if I can. So Red Rising, I may read in 2026. I might just put that on my TBR. Handmaid's Tale is number 4. Animal Farm by George Orwell is number 5, and number 6 is 1984. This does not record me as having ever read it, but I have read it. The Booker winner from last year, Orbital by Samantha Harvey, is also on the list. She's at the number 8 spot. The number 7 spot is The Ministry of Time by Bradley. This is the book by Bradley. There's another book with this title, The Ministry of Time by I think Rohinton Mysteries book also has the same title. I could be wrong about that. Um, Other books that are round out that list is Golden Sun by Pierce Brown, Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, All Systems Read by Martha Wells, and Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. The horror books, I haven't read. I don't intend to read any of those. Romance, romance. The number one romance book on here is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. um, the books that I have, let me see. Okay, so on the romance list, Emily Henry has 2 books on the list, and Abby Jimenez has 3, and Allie Hazelwood has 1. Allie Hazelwood has 2. So Emily Henry has 2, Abby Jimenez has 3, and Allie Hazelwood has 2. And you're not going to be surprised. The Emily Henry books are Great Big Beautiful Life and Funny Story. I haven't read either of those, but I do want to I want to try out her books at some point. I did read some Abby Jimenez. I read one of her books this year. I read Yours Truly, which is not on this list because it's one of the older ones. But I have her book, Part of Your World, and I'm going to be reading that soon. And the other 2 Abby Jimenez books on here are Say You'll Remember Me, which I think is the most recent one, and Just for the Summer. The Allie Hazelwood books are Deep End and Problematic Summer Romance. I like the cover of these books. So I haven't read any of those other ones. It's interesting to see that some of these lists have books that are way back list. So in terms of YA, I'm not surprised that the Suzanne Collins book from the Hunger Games series is number 1 most read book in this genre. Young adult, Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. But other books that are on this top 12 are The Hunger Games, which is probably 15 years old. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is also from that series, which is also several years old. But here's one that is really surprising. The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. Did a new adaptation or something come out recently? I mean, I know the cover is new. This has a really pretty cover. But I read The Summer I Turned Pretty when I just joined BookTube, which is almost 10 years ago. So, I don't think it was a brand new book at the time. So that's interesting. The other book, I think the third book in the series is We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han, because she wrote the book To All the Boys I've Loved Before. I don't remember exactly now how the series goes, but I've read them and I'm surprised that they're still in the top 12 books. In terms of memoirs, Ina Garten's book is on here. I haven't yet read it. Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zahner is on here. I did read Britney Spears' memoirs on here, Matthew Perry's memoirs on here, Friends, Lovers, and the Big terrible thing. And the history and biography is interesting. Number one is The Wager, A Tale of Shipwreck, Mutiny, and Murder, which I read. David Grant's book is on here. Say Nothing by Patrick Radden Keefe is in the number three spot. The Wager is number one. I read that. Killers of the Flower Moon by David Grant is also on here. That is number five. So David Grant is at number one and number five. The Demon of Unrest by Eric Larson is on here. It's in the number eight spot. Yuval Noah Harari's books are on here. So that's interesting. Here's a list. I'm looking at it. So David Grant has two books, number one and number five. Yuval Noah Harari has two books. Nexus is his newest release. That is about AI, from moving from Stone Age to AI, um, information technology. And that is his newer book, but it's in the 11th spot. And in the number six spot, he has his book Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind, which I think was his first popular book. And it's still more popular than the newer book, but I guess that's to be expected. And Eric Larson has two books on here. The Demon of Unrest is in the number eight spot, and his book, The Devil in the White City, is at number 12. I've read both of these, and I like them both for different reasons because I really like Eric Larson's writings. But The Devil in the White City is a very disturbing story because it talks about this person who was a serial killer, serial murderer in around the time of the World's Fair in Chicago. Is it Chicago? Yeah. So it talks about the construction leading up to the fair, and what it meant for this person. A very interesting story, and I would highly recommend it if you're not easily spooked. But The Demon of Unrest was about the Civil War, how the Civil War broke out in the United States in 1800s, 1860s. Um, very, very well written as well. Any book that Eric Larson writes is probably an automatic 5 star for me. The other person on here, the other author on here who has two books is Patrick Radden Keefe. Empire of Pain is in the number nine spot, and his book Say Nothing is on the number three spot. The Say Nothing is about the troubles in Ireland. True Story of Murder and Memory in Northern Ireland, which I read. And Empire of Pain is about prescription medication and um, how it impacts the legacy of one family specifically. The Secret History of the Sackler Dynasty is the subtitle of that book. I've read both of them and would recommend them both if you're really interested in history, whether you know this particular history that it deals with or not. So I like I like those lists. The general nonfiction list, um, so not history, not memoirs, but just general nonfiction. Some of these I have read and some of them I have not. Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green is number two on the list. The number one book is The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. I haven't read either, but I've heard people talk about them. Atomic Habits by James Clear is on here in the number four spot. The Serviceberry by Robin Wall Kimmerer is a book that I read early in the year, maybe in January or so. And in it, she talks about the gift economy and how native people use the resources of the land and what we can learn from that kind of gift economy. She talks about abundance and reciprocity. It's a small book, slim volume, and I loved it. Highly, highly recommend anything that Robin Wall Kimmerer writes. Revenge of the Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell is in the number eight spot. I haven't read this newest release from him, but I've read almost all his books before that. And I have most of them up there. I don't know if you could see them. They're on my top shelf. I read Outliers, A Tipping Point, Blink, David and Goliath, all his books, and I just haven't gotten to this newer one yet. So it's in the number 8 spot, and I think I'll read it someday soon, but I haven't yet. And then another book that I read and I would highly recommend is Maybe You Should Talk to Someone by Laurie Gottlieb. And it is a therapist talking about her experience as a therapist, but also her experience being in therapy herself. So, talking about therapy from the two perspectives, both as therapist and patient, doctor and patient experiences, and the juxtaposition of those two perspectives, it just makes for a fascinating read. Some of the case studies that she shares, but also how she shares her own life experience is fantastic. I read it for the booktube prize one year, and it was, I think, my favorite book of the round. So those are the books that are the most read books according to Goodreads this year, and I would recommend all the ones that I just talked about favorably. um, Hey, so I that's what I just wanted to come on and just hop on and share with you a little bit of bookish stuff. Bookish stuff. I'm gonna be posting videos every day for Vlogmas, so I might not do wrap ups here on live because I'll be doing some kind of bookish theme discussion in the Vlogmas videos. So the lives will maybe do other things that I don't do there. So maybe for now, we will think about book lists as one of the things that we'll do in our lives. I won't do a reading sprint on here just because my daughter is home and I want to go sit beside her, even if she's eating and watching a video. But I want to be, I want to hang out with her too. So I'll be back hopefully tomorrow for another live. And maybe in our live tomorrow, we'll plan to do some reading sprints. We'll come on here and spend a little bit longer time so we can read together. And I intend to have a new book finished. I intend to have a book finished tonight that I can talk to you about tomorrow as well. But I am looking forward to Vlogmas. I'm looking forward to sharing our Christmas preparations with you. If not for Vlogmas, then my shelves would probably still look like this at the end of the month. But I did pull out one little little decoration. It's a little gingerbread house that we put together from we have the plates. It's just some plastic plates that we put together, and it's one of the toys. It's like a little toy that my daughter has, and so we just put it up on the shelves. But yes, love.
I didn't see this video I clicked on, and it's actually the Gabby's Dollhouse movie.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. I still come to watch it with you. So we're going to be doing some decorations with objects, but we're also going to do some decorations with a little restructuring of the bookshelves. So we may do that on live on here later in the week as well. So those are just some things to think about, some things to look forward to if you are into that kind of thing. So, I missed some comments. Z Loves Books says, I love The Great Alone, read it last year. Yeah. Kristen Hanna, I haven't read too much more from her, but that book was just so riveting when I read it. I mean to read more from her. Her books are big, and sometimes I veer towards shorter books that I can read faster. But I do want to read more from Kristen Hanna. I've heard a lot of really great things about the women. So, and I don't know what the story is about. So I want to check that out at some point too. Maybe I'll add one of her books to like my January TBR or something. But right now, I have a big stack of books that I need to work on before the end of the month, the 10 before the end challenge. I have three books that are currently on the go, hoping to finish one of those today and maybe another one tomorrow. So we'll talk about it then. All right, I have to go. I have to go, but thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for spending a little time with me. For those of you who will watch this later, I hope you enjoy the playback. Leave me a comment so I'll know that you watched it. I mean, I see your numbers in my analytics, but it's nice to know who was watching as well. So leave me a comment so I'll know who. And I look forward to seeing you live tomorrow, and look forward to seeing you also in the Vlogmas comments, the Vlogmas video comments. And yeah, I will also go write something on my blog so I can be consistent over there as well. So thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing from you what you've been reading, what you've been doing. If you're watching other Vlogmas videos, if you have other creators that you think I should check out, please share their names or their channel names or where they are on other social media platforms so I can go find them. I don't mind I don't mind meeting some new people who are doing Vlogmas as well. I love watching Vlogmas videos. It's some of the ways that we find some new creators around this time of the year, see what other people are doing to get ready for the season. So thank you for all of it in advance, and I look forward to seeing you in the next time we're on here. So enjoy the rest of your day. If you are reading, happy reading. If you're doing other things, happy that as well. And we'll chat tomorrow. Okay, have a great day. Bye.